The economies of the world, not just the United States, but all through the world, the economies are failing because there's going to be one money system, just one. And it's going to be electronic. And the Bible tells us in Revelation chapter 13 that it involves you being interfaced with a computer system. It's called the mark of the beast. That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And to receive that into his right hand or forehead. You know, years ago they came out with this thing called a barcode. We all have seen those on packages. Those funny lines and with numbers under them. Well, on each end of the barcode and in the middle, the line is longer. And the numerical value of those lines is 6. So you have a 6 on each end and a 6 in the middle. It's 3 6s. What does the Bible say long ago? That this number is 666. Shouldn't that raise our eyebrows a little bit? And then after the barcode was out for a while, they started putting on one side of it, and I've still got samples of this, a sideways F on the left side of it, and a sideways H on the right side of it for forehead and hand. Now, shouldn't that raise our eyebrows a little bit? Now the barcodes, in many cases, are embedded. And we have radio frequency identification devices, RFID, in our labels and so forth. Everything is so tightly controlled. And now the FBI has admitted that along with the telephone companies, they are keeping track of all 227 million cell phones, yours and mine, in the United States. They can pinpoint their location. So if you're carrying a cell phone, they know where you are. They want everybody to have a cell phone. They want everybody to have a computer. I mean, how else can they control you? I wouldn't worry about it. I'm just saying this is a sign of the times. And you know, we live in what's called a panopticon. The word panopticon means they're constantly watching you, but you don't know who's watching you. And now to top it off, they've come out with this Einstein cyber protection run by the White House through the National Security Agency. And what it does is it reads all of your email and keeps track of all of your web browsing on the computer. All of it for everybody. Now it takes computers to do that, but they've got them. So really, is there any privacy left? These are the Orwellian days. Big Brother is watching. There's a system rising up. Why are all these banks in trouble? Why are we having all these failures? Why is our industrial base gone? It's all done on purpose. Why the empty factories? And every Friday they're closing banks. They always wait till do it on a Friday. Constantly. Now they said that in many of the states, the tax refunds, state tax refunds, are going to be held up for months because they don't have the money to pay it. Every state in the Union is flat busted. The United States is broke. It's going down fast. Don't I paint a nice picture? But it's true. And they're doing it on purpose because they want to bring forth an entirely new system. And it's the only way they can do it. But remember this, when a money system fails, and you can look all the way back in history, when a money system fails, so does the government. When a money system dies, the government dies with it, and a new one rises in its place. In all of history, no government of any nation ever survived its economic collapse. It has never, ever happened. Things have gone into a very strange set of circumstances. I'm old enough, there's some of you here are older, but not too many of you. I'm 59 going on 60, but I'm old enough to remember how it used to be. And it's nothing like it was right now. Right now is nothing like it was at one time. It has drastically changed. Would you like a little contrast here before we actually get into this? I'm trying to show you how late in time we are before we actually can go into this, because we have to see the need for prayer. And we're up against it, whether we realize it or not. You look at how the presidency operates today. I saw a picture just yesterday of Obama sitting in front of a mud hut in Kenya, which they said was the family home. Well, if that was his family home, what's he doing in the White House? And he's sitting there with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, looking like a thug. Just kind of sitting there with a friend in front of this mud hut. And I thought, that is the president?
That's what it is.
How can this be? He went and had his physical checkup, and they said he drinks too much. They said he's a real guzzler. He goes to all these different... They said it's a hazard of the job. He has so many social events to go to, and they have all this alcohol. He's stuck. He's got to drink it. Give him a 7-Up. He doesn't need to drink this stuff. He does that because he wants to. But anyway, and all the things, the money that they waste and all of this. You know, back when Harry Truman, anybody remember Harry S. Truman? Huh? Go back to 1950. He actually retired in 52 when Eisenhower came in. This is ancient history for some of you. Now, Truman had his problems, no doubt. But he did have some character about him. And when Truman was in the White House, he paid for all of his own travel, out of pocket. He paid for all of his own food while he was traveling. He bought his own stamps, licked them himself. When he retired from the presidency, when he fulfilled his office, he and his wife Bess got in their old car and drove back to Independence, Missouri. No Secret Service following them or anything. Said, I don't need you. He just drove on home. The only asset he had was the house that they lived in Independence, which was inherited from his wife's mother. He left the presidency with a pension of $227 a week. They offered him, when he's 87 years old, they offered him the Congressional Medal of Honor. And he said, what? I didn't do anything worth a medal. He said, I don't want it. And he refused it. Boy, that's a contrast to the guy that's in there now that went and took the Nobel Prize and did nothing to earn it. After Truman left the White House, he was offered a lot of corporate jobs, big positions with a lot of money. And he turned them all down. He said, you don't want me. You're trying to buy the presidency of the United States, and it's not for sale. It belongs to the people. So I will not work a secular job. And he lived off that pension of $227 a week. But then Congress said because he had spent so much of his own money while he was president, they're going to give him $25,000 a year to live on, which they did. But look at the contrast between then and now. And the countless billions and billions and even trillions of dollars that are being wasted and spent and thrown in every direction. This would have been unthinkable years ago. Things have changed a lot. And we have so much crookedness everywhere, dishonesty. Everybody's pulling fast ones. It's coming from every direction. They just had this big thing going on over in the Vatican where they found out that the Pope's closest aide has just been found to be the head of a male or gay prostitution ring. Big embarrassment for the Vatican. And now the Vatican's chief exorcist, I think he's 86 years old, said the devil is in the Vatican. One of their own. Their chief exorcist. He said the devil's in the Vatican. He said we have a lot of cardinals and a lot of bishops don't even believe there's a God. That's right. He always was there. You know, you look at Catholicism and people think it's Christianity because they have crosses on the top of the church. And they use the terminology. But let's go by the Bible, the Word of God, and see what's wrong.